Hey guys, it's Kelly here in the garden, and I just wanted to have some fun in the garden today. It's a beautiful day, and I just don't feel like working in the garden. So we want to talk about some fun stuff like garden art and, whimsy and things like that in the garden. But first, I wanted to start off with showing you the forest of flowers here. They think they're sequoias, but actually have a sunflower and some hollyhocks growing there in a cluster. So yeah, that's fun. So come along with me and we'll just kind of take a look through the garden and look at some of the things that I've placed in the garden to create some whimsy. And that could be a number of things, but I do have the signs that I made, like this one. It says, "Ah, sure, why not?" which is a common saying of some of my friends in Ireland. And then I have little quirky things like second-hand store items that are purchased and placed in the garden. And I have a lot of coffee pots and teapots and things like that in the garden. There's one underneath there. And this one I got from a coworker. Teapot. Not cute? So gardens don't have to be formal. And obviously I don't have one of those kinds of gardens. Mine is more about whimsy and just having fun because that's the experience I wanted to create for myself and visitors when they come to the garden. I did get this birdhouse and I placed license plate frames on it. And just more recently, I've added more birdhouses here along the fence, series of them. My daughter Mackenzie helped me put those up. Thank you, Mackenzie. The corn is dying. Did get some corn on the cob off of it, but it wasn't great. Just little things, but that's okay. It wasn't expected anyway. I think a bird dropped it there, the seed there or something. And then, of course, there's the spiral of the garden. That's a little whimsical. I've got this funky little cactus growing here. Can you see it? And that's just taken off of the big cactus patch. They fall. It's so old, and when it flowers, it tends to get so heavy that the flowers weigh it down and it starts to break. So you get all kinds of ones that break off, and then you just put them on the ground and they'll basically root and start growing. Also have this one right here, or these came from it as well. And I wanted to know, looks like the deer have been here, and how I can tell is that the stems have been cut off, the flowers eaten off of these. And there's also some fun little reminders of themselves that they left here on the ground. Don't want to step in. I've got the bird baths all dotted around, which are popular with the hummingbirds, especially the fountain for the hummingbirds and other types of birds in the garden. I'm not a bird. As far as knowledge, I don't know a lot about the different types of birds. I really should learn, but I like to watch them, so that's fun. Yeah, there's a lot of things I should be doing in the garden today, but I'm not. It's going to be really warm for here. And when I think really warm for here, it's supposed to be in the 80s today, so that's warm for here. It's a dry heat, so should be tolerable, but I'll be in the shade, not working. Um, so yeah, just a lot of things. There's another garden sign I've shown you before. The gophers need not apply. Big gopher problem here. And yeah, so there's a lot of different things that you can do if you're creative. It's really easy. And I get creative more in the winter months when it's raining, and I have to be because I can't be out here as much if it's raining or yucky weather or cold. So that's when I do a lot of those projects. And we talked about the rock garden and Big Mama, the euphorbia, and what am I going to do? Well, I think what I have decided to do is I will cut her back occasionally, but I am going to extend to the small rock garden and just make this one big rock garden. And you can't even see, but I have some pots back there behind her that you can't even see that's supposed to be a feature. That was the idea anyway. So that will be moved probably somewhere in the center or off center. But I think that's going to be a winter project because those are things that are good for, oh, look, there's a hummingbird. I don't know if you see it. Where'd it go? Anyway, but those are projects for the winter when it's colder and not planting as much. That's a good thing to do. So thanks for all your suggestions, your opinions on Big Mama and the rock garden. I appreciate it. I love to hear from you guys. So yeah, just a lot of whimsy. I have different things in the garden too, like the lanterns that were given to me by Brittany, a friend of my daughter's, her BFF. And yeah, just different things around the yard. I also have some barbed wire that I use as decoration. Again, you can't really see the barbed wire over Big Mama, but there and in one other place. And then I have an old pitchfork as well, and just different things. So I'd like to hear from you guys as far as what you have to create whimsy in your garden. Or maybe you're not into creating whimsy. Maybe you like real neat lines. I like all kinds of gardens. This is just the type of personality I have, so that's what I go with. But I can appreciate all kinds of gardens, and I love to see all kinds of gardens. When I go to Ireland, I visit all kinds of gardens, and that's really neat. So I'm hoping when I go in May that I'll be able to share some footage of the gardens that I see there. And so, yeah, really excited about that trip and being able to share those with you. Have any of you ever been to Ireland and seen some of the gardens there, and which ones have you been to? I'd love to hear from you on that too, or other places in the world. That would be enjoyable experience to talk about that. So yeah, not working on the garden today. I did work yesterday though. I did do a little bit. I know you can't tell, but we'll walk over here. I did some more cleaning up. It doesn't look clean, but that's clean up. And the cardboard is going to be all through their double cardboard layer and then mulch and rock. So I did do that, and I did put together my compost bin, which is almost complete. It's screwed together and everything, so that's good. And I'm using it already. It's almost full. I plan to add more sides to it, make it bigger, but I just have to get the pallets and haven't done that yet. So anyway, I have an eggplant. I don't know if anybody saw the eggplant. I do have an eggplant. I've never grown it before, so we'll see how it does. That's exciting. So yeah, it's already starting to get warm. I can feel the sun comes up over the trees, the eucalyptus trees, and it gets, once that sun comes out and is direct overhead, it's really warm in the garden. And so I get most of my stuff work done in the garden in the mornings or later at night. Because really it's just too uncomfortable otherwise. I know you're like, well, Kelly, it's not uncomfortable. It's like 110 degrees here. But I don't like it. I like comfort. Anyway, so that's me from the garden. What are you guys up to this week? And do you create whimsy? If so, what do you do in your garden to create whimsy? Or do you like formal gardens or English gardens? What kind of things do you like in the garden? Love to hear from you. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great week.